Hi, I'm Candie Cooper, and today I'm going to show you how you can make a Claude Monet inspired water lilies piece of artwork. So the first thing I do when I want to make something like one of the greats is go to the internet and find pictures that are inspiring. So this is some actual prints of Claude Monet's water lilies. Here's Claude standing in front of his water lilies, and you can see he was these pieces were pretty tall compared to him. So these are great big pieces. Now you can see when you look at these that there's a lot of blue in here. So that's going to be key when we go to creating our own, like the one I have here. And you can see this is, I've got some water lilies, and then because we're talking about creatures, I put some little dragonflies floating around on my paper. Okay, so let's see what we need to make this. You're going to start with some colored construction paper. I'm using blue. You'll need some oil pastels. These come in small sizes and large sizes. You'll need some glue stickers, a sketchbook if you want to do your own image research, a place to house all of that, and then a pencil, some scissors, and we're ready to get going. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is the blank page. Here we go. And keep your image inspiration handy. All you're going to do is start blocking out colors. So because this is in a little pond, we are going to just start blocking out our water lilies. And you could do the whole thing, or you can just choose a little section. That's kind of the drawing. That's kind of what I did here. So now you're going to add some darker lily pads. And the cool thing is you're using, because this is all taking place on a pond, you're using blue paper, so you don't have to put blue oil pastel in place first. So then you're going to put in some little, mark your spots for your lilies, and then I've got one right here, ready to go. Okay, now let's start blocking that in actual color. So I'm going to start with a little bit of, I want to start with some darker lily pads. And when you use oil pastels, you'll find that they sometimes make little crumbs because the pigment is so strong. These are a high quality pastel. That's why the colors show up so well on this colored paper. But if you have little crumbs like that, just tap them off, or you can lightly brush over it with a paper towel. Now, because Monet was inspired by light, you'll want to make your drawing reflect that. When you look at nature, you'll see that where the sun hits can affect how things look. And that is what Monet was so inspired by with his artwork. Now we've got one all the way finished, and I've gone ahead and blocked in some blue here too. Now we're going to start building layers, and that's what's going to make this piece come to life. So now you want to hit your highlights, and I just want to kind of show you what I did here. When you go over your shapes with the white, it actually blends, but you can also use your finger to blend those colors in, and that's going to make your piece look really special. Okay, and then we're going to add some lighter blue. That's just a really light blue, and that brings out that underwater reflection and sparkle. And you can blend it in, or you can leave it alone. But you're just going to keep working. And if you get nervous about doing one, making marks on your actual piece, have a scrap piece of blue paper laying nearby where you can test out your color blending. Now you'll see that when I was blocking out the colors, I didn't push that hard with my oil pastel. Now's the time that you want to start making things darker or lighter. So see here, I'm pushing a little bit harder because I want that to stand out. Now I'm going to go over it with a little bit of the lighter blue, and I'm still pushing hard, and you can see how those blend together beautifully. Now I've got some crumbs popping up, so you want to just, sometimes it's handy too to put a piece of scrap paper under your hand where you're working so that your fist doesn't mess up all of your hard work. And then the very last step that we're going to do is add in some white. And you can see where I started here, and this is where you're going to get those nice ripples of water. Now, once you're happy with your whole design, let's make some little dragonflies to sit on top. So you can see I've got some that I cut out here. And what I did is I just freehand drew some little dragonflies, and when I got them how I liked, I cut them out and I created a stencil so I could reuse it over and over. Now, when you have them cut out, all you're going to do is put some scrap paper under your surface, and then even though I'm using purple paper, I'm still going to color them purple because this is going to help them blend on top of my actual drawing. And then you'll want to use this metallic silver oil pastel because if you ever look at insect wings, they kind of shimmer, right? So we want to bring that out a little bit in our actual dragonflies. Okay, now how are we going to stick these things to our drawing? We're going to use glue stickers. So let me kind of get these oil pastel crumbs off of my hand. And you can still, I'm looking at this one, I added a little pink to this one, you know, to add a little dimension to your bugs. We're going to just peel off a glue sticker here. And you don't need this whole thing, but these are so skinny and handy, you can just kind of roll it between your fingers and pat your sticker in place, and then grab your drawing and kind of eyeball where you want it. I think he'll be happy living up here. And just pat him into place. And you can kind of fold up the wings to give him a little dimension, or if you want to put this in a frame, you can leave them flat. So Claude Monet water lilies inspired artwork.